In Commitment 2016 tonight, Congressman Patrick Murphy is under attack over claims he's not a certified public accountant.
West News political reporter Greg Fox puts those claims up against our exclusive truth test.
Patrick Murphy, applying for the U.S. Senate.
I believe that my background as a CPA and small business owner is exactly what we need.
Let's verify this.
This commercial attacking Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Patrick Murphy is from the National Republican Senatorial Committee, which is trying to help Republican Marco Rubio win re-election.
Here's a news story. Never worked as a CPA?
The ad refers to a Miami news report that looked into Murphy's past. First, let's look at what the ad wants you to believe, then at what it actually says. Let's bring up the West 2 News Truth Meter. First, is Patrick Murphy a certified public accountant? The truth meter rings true. According to documents West 2 News obtained from the Colorado Board of Accountancy, Murphy holds a valid current CPA license that was issued in September 2009. And according to the American Institute of CPAs, if someone passes all 4 portions of the CPA exam, regardless of the state where they took it, they would be a certified public accountant. And from UCF accounting professor Dr. Vicki Arnold, quote, if an individual holds a current CPA license, they are a CPA. But the ad says he never worked a day in his life as a CPA. And the truth meter rings mostly true on that claim. Under Florida law, to work as a certified public accountant means you hold a license to practice public accounting in this state. Murphy worked as an auditor at Deloitte in Miami, and 9 months after getting his Colorado CPA license, he left the firm. The Murphy campaign calls this old news, considering it came up 4 years ago when Murphy ran for Congress.
Not certified or registered as a CPA in the state of Florida, and that means you're kind of misleading people.
I am a certified public accountant in the state of Colorado. I've never hid that. I have my license in my pocket right now.
The title of this ad is Resume, but it doesn't say anything about Murphy's current job in Congress or what he plans to do if elected to the U.S. Senate. With the Truth Test, I'm Greg Fox.
Republican Senator Marco Rubio is the target of a TV commercial from his Democratic challenger, Congressman Patrick Murphy. West 2 political reporter Greg Fox puts it to the truth test and discovers you may need a time machine to find the last time a Florida senator with a worse attendance record.
Hello, Marco. Hello, Marco. Marco.
But it's not a game when our senator doesn't show up.
This political ad from Democrat Patrick Murphy wants you to focus on incumbent Republican Senator Marco Rubio and his attendance record. This is the only claim in the ad that Rubio has the worst attendance record of any Florida senator in nearly 50 years. By now, most of you have heard that his attendance was the worst of any senator, including those running for president. Records show he missed more than 35% of votes last year.
I'm running for president, and unfortunately that means that sometimes I won't be able to get there in time to vote on some things.
But the claim in the ad is that Rubio has the worst attendance record of any Florida senator in nearly 50 years. The West 2 News Truth Meter rings true. As previously reported in the National Journal and Washington Post, Rubio was missing votes long before he ran for president. According to GovTrack, which follows congressional attendance, Rubio has missed more than 14% of the votes since he joined the Senate. You have to go way back in time to find the last Florida senator with a worse attendance record. Paula Hawkins, elected in 1980, came close, missing 10% of the votes. But it was George Smathers, first elected in 1951, who missed more than 23% of the votes by the time he left office in 1969. The best attendance record among Florida senators, Democrat Bill Nelson, having missed about 2% of the vote since taking office in 2001. For the record, Rubio's attendance has been stellar since he dropped out of the presidential race, missing just 3 of 100 votes. With the Truth Test, I'm Greg Fox.
They say where there's smoke, there's usually fire.
But as a new political ad supporting Solar Amendment 1, more smoke and mirrors. West 2 News political reporter Greg Fox is here with our exclusive truth test. And Greg, this one's got a lot of people confused.
And no surprise there. For months, the group Consumers for Smart Solar has been selling the public on Amendment 1 and saying it will protect your right to own solar equipment and not be slapped with higher electric rates if you choose not to have solar. In this new commercial, it's all about your safety.
In my job, I see a lot of fires that could have been stopped before they started.
You may be wondering why a firefighter is talking about Solar Amendment 1. First, the West 2 News Truth Meter. Is this a real firefighter? The meter rings true. He's Orlando firefighter Wayne Bernosca, a local union officer. Here's what he says Amendment 1 will provide.
Common sense safeguards for the health, safety, and welfare of Florida's consumers and its first responders.
The truth meter is going to hover right in the middle. Why? Because the ballot language is too vague. It reads, state and local governments shall retain their abilities to protect consumer rights and public health, safety, and welfare. But building inspectors and engineers tell me government is already doing that when it comes to the installation of solar systems. The Florida Building Code requires roof-mounted solar collectors to comply with the law. Licensed engineers must draw permits first, and the work must be approved by city and county building inspectors. The president of the Florida Professional Firefighters told me by phone, as the solar industry grows, the risk will grow. This amendment protects the ability of state and local government to set laws to ensure safety. Bernosca added, when you put solar panels on roofs, that's inherently dangerous for the public and for us when we fight fires. Though Bernosca could not recall a single fire or a single training session that has ever dealt with solar equipment. Oh, there's one more claim.
That's why Florida's firefighters support Amendment 1.
Do all Florida firefighters support Amendment 1? The truth meter rings false. The Orange County professional firefighters are neutral. Secretary Scott Egan tells me we should not be supporting or opposing an amendment that has little or nothing to do with us. And I also went to the legislative issues portion of the Florida Professional Firefighters website, where it shows the union actively tracked more than 100 bills this year. Only one contained the word solar and dealt with only pool installation. Just when and why the union decided to endorse Amendment 1 is unclear. Stuart?
All right. Thanks a lot, Greg. And be sure to download the West 2 mobile app for continuing Commitment 2016 coverage.
We'll be very, very big into exactly this area. We're going to bring a lot of jobs back.
And Commitment 2016, Donald Trump promising to relaunch the space industry here in Central Florida. Trump was talking one-on-one with political reporter Greg Fox during his visit in Daytona Beach on yesterday.
But can Trump deliver on his promise? And is his criticism of the president on NASA funding out of orbit? Here's Greg with West 2 News Truth Test.
We'll be bringing jobs back. Again, we'll be bringing jobs back.
Republican Donald Trump made that promise in Daytona, but will his economic plan really create more jobs? More on that in a minute. But Trump made it clear he wants to grow local space industry jobs.
Somebody just asked me backstage, Mr. Trump, will you get involved in the space program?
I was that someone. Trump told me he will invest in NASA.
Has the president not served this area well in continuing the investment in our space exploration?
Well, he's not only served it badly, he's told lies, because he talked about investing and it's going the opposite direction.
Let's bring up the truth meter. Has NASA funding under Barack Obama gone down during his presidency? The truth meter rings two ways. First, it's true that twice under Obama, the NASA budget was cut, and in his first year, it was frozen. But when you look at present-day funding, the truth meter on Trump's statement is false. Here's why. In 2010, the NASA budget was $17.8 billion. The current budget is $19.3 billion, up $1.5 billion since Obama was sworn in. As for that first pledge by Trump,
we'll be bringing jobs back.
Will Trump bring back jobs? The truth meter stays right in the middle. Moody's Analytics compared Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton's economic plans and found Clinton's plan more favorable, more jobs, and a growing economy. In fact, CNBC reports the Moody's analysis will, quote, bring a stronger economy under Clinton and a recession with Trump, who said this when I asked him about it.
Well, it's a false report.
Trump did go on to explain that his pledge to rewrite the trade deals the U.S. has right now with other countries is not figured into his economic plans just yet, but will generate more jobs. At least that's what he says. And economists do point out that Clinton's plan, according to them, raises the nation's debt.
Our exclusive West 2 News poll on Amendment 2 shows nearly 70% of local viewers support medical marijuana. The results are still coming in after our live debate Tuesday night. Political reporter Greg Fox investigated some of the claims made in that debate and right now has our truth test.
Right out of the block, No on 2's Dr. Jessica Spencer said this.
There is no conclusive evidence that marijuana as an entire plant works as a medicine.
Let's bring up the West 2 News Truth Meter. Based on the way the claim is worded, it's true. That seems hard to believe considering non-euphoric cannabis is already being sold in Florida and full-strength cannabis is available for terminally ill patients. But WebMD accurately points out that few studies have followed a controlled clinical trial, mainly because marijuana is an illegal drug. Later, Yes on 2's John Morgan said this.
What this is a cure, a help for really, really, really sick people.
Morgan used the word cure. The truth meter rings false. According to Procon.org's 60 peer-reviewed studies on medical marijuana, 68% show positive results for patients, but it also shows 32% with negative or no clear results, and none use the word cure. Later, there was this exchange.
This is de facto legalization of marijuana, period.
Just because you say it's de facto legalization of marijuana, it's not.
According to the truth meter, Dr. Spencer's claim is false. The amendment language is clear. Nothing in this section shall affect or repeal laws relating to non-medical use, possession, production, or sale of marijuana. Morgan is working hard to make it sound like people who used to be opposed to Amendment 2 are softening. For example, Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd.
He used to say, look, I'm for the legalization of medical marijuana. I just want it to be done in Tallahassee.
Our truth meter is going to ring false on that statement. We looked at what Judd said in August 2014. Smoked marijuana has no medical purpose. Fast forward to an article in the Lakeland Ledger 2 months ago in which Judd was quoted, "I haven't changed my position at all. Smoked marijuana is not medicine."
Morgan and Spencer also made statements about the safety of cannabis, which groups are supporting and opposing Amendment 2, and what kinds of edibles might be allowed under the law. Part 2 of my truth test coming up at 5:30. Summer.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Greg Fox, thank you very much.
In Commitment 2016 tonight, people across the region are going to WESH.com and our Facebook page and filling out our medical marijuana poll.
So far, it shows that nearly 70% of you support Amendment 2. And while many of you watched our live debate last night, you might have wondered what was true and what was false. Western News political reporter Greg Fox digs into those claims in our exclusive truth test.
During our exclusive Amendment 2 debate, Yes on 2's John Morgan argued that marijuana is safer than pain meds.
No one has ever died from ingesting marijuana.
On that claim, we'll bring up the West 2 News Truth Meter. It's true. According to the Centers for Disease Control, while there has been a 137% increase in drug and opioid overdose deaths nationally since 2000, there's not one proven case of cannabis causing an overdose death. Later, there was a strong debate over what form cannabis could be dispensed to patients. Dr. Jessica Spencer is with No on 2.
And the amendment specifically says edibles.
Bringing up the truth meter, we'll call that statement false. The word edibles is nowhere in the language. The word food is. That's why No on 2 is running commercials saying pot in the shape of candy could easily fall into children's hands. Spencer disputed Morgan's argument that Florida lawmakers would, like their colleagues in Colorado did in July, ban cannabis in the shape of candy.
It can only happen if the Florida legislature allows it to happen.
The legislature can only enact the plain language.
We'll leave the meter hovering right in the middle. It's unclear if lawmakers would try to interpret the voters' will if the amendment passes. Then Dr. Spencer made this statement.
The Florida Sheriff's Association, the Florida Police Chiefs Association, and every other major medical organization has come out against.
The West 2 News Truth Meter is going to ring false on part of that claim. The Sheriff's Association, led by Jerry Demings of Orange County, is neutral. Its director writes, FSA never told citizens to support or oppose a constitutional amendment.
And of course, you can watch our entire Amendment 2 debate on our homepage at WESH.com. It includes a link for you to fill out our exclusive medical marijuana poll. And of course, we welcome your comments on our Facebook page. Remember, early voting begins next week. Angela, Stewart.